And just like that, we are live. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. It's just me, Ro, tonight. I'm going to say Mike's on a date. He said he had to go to dinner somewhere after a big work thing. So whether he is or not, we're going to say that Mike is on a date. So text him a lot. I've already texted him to see if he needed the call, to get him out of it. He said, ha ha. So I don't know what that means. You can make up your own mind. And hello to Mr. Bryden and Mr. Montague. Welcome. If you are new to the place, please hit like and subscribe. We are so close to 500. And hopefully getting us over that, we have tonight Miriam Yvette, author of Romantasy. Yes. You do a little romantasy horror?
Yes. The horror is one of the subgenres of it.
Okay, so you touch on a lot of areas. I was kind of reading through your the about me on your webpage.
Yes.
And yeah, I think you are the first romantasy person we've ever had on this show. So we
yes.
October is breaking a lot of new ground for Bald&Balding.
I know you guys had a smutty writer. I watched that live. That one was a very interesting combo.
Riley Rose?
Yes.
yeah, that was that we didn't know. Mike called me up and said, "Do we want to do this?" It's like, yeah, why not? We've never said no before.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's start with first things first. Where are you?
I live in Central California. So there's the fun areas, the Bay Area and down south. Central is where all the agriculture is at, where all the almonds you probably are eating are from. So very, very country, closer to the mountains. So I'm like 30 minutes away from Yosemite National Park, which is awesome because it's very beautiful there in the winter.
Yeah. And you've got San Francisco up north and LA to the south?
Yep.
And Vegas probably isn't a huge problematic kind of thing?
No, there's this one road and you just take it, you just drive straight. I heard it's really boring.
So within, 2 hours, you can be to any one of a number of enormous places?
And Las Vegas has a shuttle where they'll actually pick you up and they'll take you there themselves because, of course, they want people to go there.
I bet they will, yeah. So how long have you been writing Yvette? I'm sorry, Miriam.
That's cool.
You have two first names. I don't know what to call it.
So just without publishing, I've been writing since 6th grade. Long story short, I moved a lot. So I was always trying to make new friends. And once we moved from California, I lived in Washington State for half of my childhood. And I kind of started picking up drawing more. And it was there at I would hang my artwork on the wall with like really cheap tape. So sometimes it would just kind of like bend and fall over me, and I would kind of look at them. And one day I asked myself, what if they had a name? What if they had a story? And that's kind of how I started writing.
So when did you start publishing?
I honestly cannot tell you. I don't know the stats about myself. I can't numbers.
You don't remember when you published the first book?
I know the first book I published was The Birth, and I put that on pause because it was, like most indie publishers, it was just not, it was just a very, what the heck am I doing kind of situation. So I put it on pause and I'm going to pick it up later, but that was my first book that did come out. So that I do remember.
Okay. Why romantasy as opposed to just straight fantasy?
So one thing I love about the romance part is it's about relationships. And I know in fantasy, you don't need to have a romance type of situation. You can have familial bonds or things to be platonic. But I grew up watching telenovelas. So I kind of love how exaggerated or how intense romantic relationships can be. And I enjoy it. It's just something that it's like someone who likes to write sword and sorcery. For me, it's romance. I have to add romance. And when I read books that don't have romance, I secretly ship the characters in my head. And I'm like, oh, I like these two characters together. And so it's just a part of me. It's not just something that I know most people well, a lot of people say, oh, romance is like the easy way, but really you have to deliver a good story. And romance
Right.
readers, they will know if you're just trying to fake it or if the relationship isn't appealing to them. So it's easier said than done.
We have mentioned that before, I think, because it's very easy to kind of just go romance, whatever.
Oh yeah,
But
I hear it often.
there are so many gates you have to hit, and if
Yes.
you don't hit them,
Yes.
you're going to be ostracized by your readers. I think fantasy is a lot more forgiving with
Yes.
that, because the people kind of go, oh well, you've tried to do something different. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. But
Hmm.
really quick before we
Sure.
dive right in, Mr. Montague here. I may have mentioned this to you.
Yes.
Art on the walls. Tell me about the paintings, and this would be a good segue into something here.
Sure. So this one right here is Lady Olivia. She's one of the witches from my Dragon of Mirror books. I'm doing a relaunch, so book 2, 3, and 4 they're out right now. So I do all the covers, I do all the artwork, and
You've done all these covers?
oh yeah, I do all of yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you could
Excalibur's King.
Excalibur's. I want to touch on a couple of these, and I will
Sure.
put them up for you, so you don't have to keep shifting books.
Oh, awesome.
Um,
But yeah, that's Lady Olivia. She's the first witch. She's one of the, because I have 4 elementals, so world building wise, and Lady Olivia is the only one who can use lightning, because thunder is the sound lightning, and there's just a lot of stuff about her that I can't mention because I haven't written it yet. But that's Lady Olivia. That's Acacia. She's my elf princess. She's my girl. I always draw her. I always find excuses to draw her, and someone from the Twitter community actually did a recent artwork of her, and I thought was really amazing. And I had King Tungsten from Excalibur's King right here, but I decided to put my sign up.
yeah, nice. Okay, and EL asked about that too. So
Yeah, so that's more like it's like my own publishing name thing. It's not like a publishing house where I'm gonna take people in. It's just kind of what my brand, I guess. So
yeah,
King Crow Books, yes.
yeah. Most of us have something like that.
Yes, that is my
It's
art.
awesome. Wait till you see some of these covers, EL. And Ro has changed seats or turned the camera, or no, Ro is at home as opposed to up in the DC apartment, and you're just probably not used to seeing this. So let's go through these, and you can tell us what books each of these are, because I don't have them in a particular order,
Sure.
and I don't know if I even have them all.
After Dark. Yes.
Okay, so tell us about how many books are in this series, and
Sure. After Dark.
what is this story?
Of course, After Dark came out last month on September 22nd, I believe, or the 21st. This one has elements of horror, so it has some psychological horror. It has mystery, a little bit of a thriller, but obviously it's at its very heart, it's a paranormal romance. And it's about a witch who is, she is the descendant of the first witch ever. And it has a little bit of portal fantasy. So these Atharlians came from a world and they came to Earth. And if you've ever read the comics Fable, they have this thing where they use a certain type of magic to turn themselves into regular humans. I kind of have something of that element. So there's goblins there who look like regular humans, and they're forced to kind of live a regular world because they can't return to their old world. Something happened there that the readers have to figure out later on. And it's a wolf shifter. So in the back, there's Dante. And I picked the name Dante because I wanted to pick the most cliche, overused name that's out there. So I picked I picked that one. And also, that's not really his name, his real name. His real name is Yolotli, which is a Aztec name for heart. And I add in a lot of Mexica and indigenous lore mixed with European mythology.
Nice. Yeah, a little something for everybody there, then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And let's see here. We have this one.
Yes, that's book 2. That one is going to come out next year. That's
okay.
For 99 cents.
So the one we just had up was your most recent?
Yes, that one's book 1.
Okay. That's your most recent book. All right. And these are you wide or Amazon only?
Amazon.
Okay. And is that book 2 or book 1?
That is book 2 of my Children of Rima series.
All right, so let's
The
go to
first
book
one.
1 first.
Yes. So Children of Rima is more of a fantasy, more fantasy based than contemporary fantasy. So it has light versus dark elements, celestials. It's about Lucan, who is a man living a lie. He is actually a celestial, and he is the last light of the world. So if people find out who he is, if he dies, basically the world goes back into darkness. And it's dual POV. So we have Aline Harrow, who is the town's heathen, and she doesn't believe that these great beings exist. She's the skeptic.
The town what?
The town's heathen.
Teven?
Heathen.
Oh, heathen.
Yeah, she's the town's heathen, and her loyal horse, Fior, is basically the trilogy's animal supporting character, and it's one of my favorite series actually, and it has magical trees, giantess, celestials, and very complex relationships.
And what struck you, did the cover on this?
Yes.
This is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And are you doing covers for other people?
So the only person I'm doing covers for is Adam Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
I redid his first cover, and I'm working on his second cover. I kind of he had mentioned to me he wanted to do a new cover, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you some ideas. So I just kind of threw some things in, and he was like, hey, can you kind of make this official? And I'm like, sure, just tell me what you want me to do. And that's basically how it started with him.
Yeah. How long does it take you to do something like this?
Cover wise, it depends. The cover for After Dark has been sitting for like about 2-3 years. That's because it's not like timeline wise, and no one's paying me, obviously. So for a good cover for me to really stand out, you kind of really have to get the idea out and then just kind of let it sit there, let it simmer, because then eventually you're just going to look at it and have like a different perspective. And that's basically what I did with Children of Rima. I did a video on my YouTube channel where I showed how it used to look and then the before and after.
Are you sorry, you're here to talk about your books, but I want to talk about this for a minute.
Sure.
Are you like a pen and ink or a computer?
Digital art. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love this because the way you broke the border on either side,
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, I think that it gives it enough of a difference where it makes it stand out really well, because you have that really thick border that's broken on either side like that.
And I'll tell you something. That is my number one seller when I go to vendor events. Everyone always gets the trilogy or they get book 1.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of bummed because I'm like, Excalibur's King needs some love. So if anyone wants a standalone.
Well, I mean, the biggest lie in self-publishing is that, you can't judge a book by its cover, and everybody does. So
that is very true.
Yeah, that's stunning. And as is this one.
Yes, Excalibur's King.
So what's the story here? Is this a first book or a standalone?
This one's a standalone. It's a kind of like almost a dystopian fantasy where all of the monsters are going back to the Isles of Avalon, and it's a it's third person, but it's only one character that we're following, which is King Tungsten. He is the second born of the kingdom of Excalibur, and the second born prince of like their culture, the tradition is that they're supposed to serve the first king. However, his father's dead, and so is his brother. So he became king just by default. However, he doesn't want to become king. And he's a Giga Chad. He has a very sunshine, positive personality, despite all the terrible things that are happening and have happened. And he has a best friend, Lancelot. It's very Arthurian inspired. So you see a lot of elements of that. So that's why instead of one isle of Avalon, there's isles, and there's concepts of dragons, different types of dragons, dragon worshippers. He has a murderous love interest who is always behind him, behind his shadows, trying to destroy him. I'll say that much.
Well, that's just so on, they always are.
It picks up fast in chapter 1. He finds out his sister's dead, and her name's Calibor, and he's just like, do I go do I look for my sister's murderer, or do I return to my kingdom?
And you're going to tell us what he does? Or we have to read it to find out?
You guys definitely have to read it.
All right. Now, are those like rose petals, or is that just like blood spraying?
It's blood spray. It's like berserk blood spray.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I've got. You probably have more books than this, but these are the ones I found.
Oh yeah. So that was the original. That's how I said I'm doing a relaunch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Hunter Prince used to look, and this is how it looks now.
Okay. So
And
I don't have that one.
oh, it's cool. As much as I love that cover, I love it so much. I noticed when I would go to vendor events, it really wasn't piquing people's interest.
Mm-hmm.
I test everything I do. I'm the guinea pig in every aspect, and especially with my book covers. And I noticed people would look at the cover, but they really wouldn't ask much about it. But this one definitely is a big changer for me.
And this is a short story?
Yes, that one's a short. That one's a short story. I have the audiobook on my YouTube channel if you guys ever want to listen to it. That one I had a very hilarious 2-star review. So every time I look at it, I laugh because the guy had said that I wrote like English is my second language. And it didn't like hurt me or anything because I'm like, what the heck? So I checked his Goodreads and he was mean to everybody. What he said to me was nice compared.
I wonder if that's the same guy. So Mike Molman, the guy who's on a date and not here tonight, he said someone wrote something like that on one of his books as well.
Really?
They said something like, well, I speak languages other than English, so I knew what the author was trying to say. And Mike speaks only English.
What the heck? Some people, and I think he was more mad because it ended like a cliffhanger. It's supposed to draw you to the first book. So I think he just got really pissed off from that.
Yeah, that's annoying, but what are you gonna do?
Corrects me up though. Yeah, that's another older cover from my Dragon and Mirrors. I love that cover, but I knew I could not replicate the realistic elements for that one for the rest of the series, so I changed it.
So do you have a copy of what you changed it to?
Oh yeah, it's this one again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so again, I am my own guinea pig. A lot of these covers I improve as I do them.
So EL here is EL. I don't know if he's on a date or not, but he's not here, so I'm just saying that he is. And if you all want to take that and run with it for the next 6 months, that's great. That's perfectly fine. So what books did I miss out here, Miriam?
My hardcover for After Dark is different. It's more has like a minimalism. It has that smudgy texture
that
Amazon cool. has. And I brought Saturday I was in Las Vegas. I did my first book event because I've done Comic-Cons, I've done local market, pretty much every other event, a Renaissance. So it was my first book event, and people actually wanted this one, and I was surprised because I didn't order any copies. So I thought definitely gonna get more copies. But yeah, this is my After Dark one.
So the events you go to, being where you are, as opposed to where I am in Southwest Virginia, where you can travel for 2 hours and still be nowhere. What kind of events are you going to, and what are you finding? Are they really big things or small things, or?
I basically just look for what's affordable first, and then I consider, am I willing to travel this far for it? So I haven't tried any big events like the San Jose Galaxy Con or the big Comic Cons that are in San Diego. I haven't done those.
What do those cost down there?
I didn't check, but I just know it's like it runs for like 5 days or something, 3-4 days.
Oh my God.
So hotel wise, no, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, just the table cost for 5 days in San Diego, it's got to be well over $1,000 for even an Artist Alley table, I would think.
Oh yes, definitely. And I mean, you also don't want to go there with one book. So I think every author should definitely try doing vendor events. But if you just have one book out, probably wait until you have a few more to distribute. But
Yeah.
I've gone to Reading. Yeah, I've
Go
gone to
ahead.
Reading. I've gone to Las Vegas. I've gone to more like closer to the Bay Area. But yeah.
How was the solely book event you said you did in Vegas? What was that like?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Los Angeles. That one was really good. It was their first fantasy event. They've attended them, so they were really experienced on what to do. It was really awesome. I met a lot of avid readers. I sold a lot of After Dark copies that I wasn't expecting. I got my money. I made my money back, and I made more. So that was obviously the goal.
Yeah.
Because the first hour it was nothing, and I was like, oh no. But it picked up, and it was awesome. Just like they have like the portable restrooms, and I was out there just waiting, and this lady, I was wearing horns with like a deer ears, and this lady was like, oh my goodness, I love your ears. And she's like, where'd you get that? And I'm like, oh, I'm just here as a vendor. And then she's like, oh, what do you sell? And I'm like, oh, fantasy romance. And her eyes bulge, and she's like, what, where are you? And yeah, made $30 right then and there.
Those people are great.
Yes.
It's like, every now and then you'll have these shows where it won't be very good. And then somebody will come up and say, I'll take one of everything.
Yes, actually. And when we mentioned about, people do judge books by the cover. And I had one who basically just asked me what it's about. And then she's just like, I'll take all of them. And I'm like, don't you want to know more? Like, what if you hate it? Like,
don't say that.
I know I didn't, but in my head, I was like,
back 'em up. Yeah, I was at a very small con down in North Carolina on Saturday. And it's really weird because the people who put it on do another one in another small town down there. And they do such a great job putting it on. They really take care of the vendors and everything. They give them lunch, and they come around with a little trolley with water and snacks, and
that's good.
ask if you need a break or whatever. And
yes,
fantastic people putting it together. But you never know what you're going to get for readers, and I sold no books. I did sell some other stuff. So, I mean, they're fairly inexpensive events, comparatively. So you go anyway. But yeah, you just don't know. I mean, there have been other times where you'll sell 15, 20 and it's.
Oh yeah. I went to one event where I only sold one book, one of my Dragon and Mirror books. And I'm like, damn. But it was something more of I asked myself, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? And I have this method where that I recommend to anyone who wants to do vendor events. So when you set up your book, don't just stack your books and make it look pretty. Get a sign, write down the tropes, write down things that make the book stand out. And I kid you not, you don't ever have to really explain what your book's about. All they do is just read it, and they'll ask for the price, or if you put the price, even put the price there. People are more mentally, I think they communicate with the book more when you add what it's about than just putting them there. And I did that for the last 8 events I've gone to, and it never fails. People, they'll just buy it. A lot of people are very introverted, so they really don't want to go up to you and be like, hey, what is this book about? So for this one, I started adding steamy or spice, because I do add some spice to my books. And I was surprised. A lot of people were like, oh, good, it has spice. Where usually, I don't say that.
Yeah, it's kind of, there's a big learning curve with these things, because different events too. I mean, I think I've never been to a solely book event, I don't think. Anyway, those are a little different, I think, because the people coming through the door are all there to buy books, and they know what they want, right? A Comic-Con, everybody who comes through the door probably reads some type of fantasy, which is good, but they're not always there for that,
Right.
And I don't know if you do what I do, is you watch what people are actually buying and kind of roll your eyes sometimes. And it's like, what the hell,
Well, I'll tell you this much. At least at a Comic-Con, there won't be much competition. And I know like we should always compete with ourselves, but you won't have another author to really compete with. When I went to the event in Las Vegas, sorry, Los Angeles, it was people's booths was amazingly well decorated. Like they stood out. And a lot of people, there's this lady who was walking by and she's like, we need to leave because I run out of money. Like, so you always want to be the first one to attract them. And I agree. The one where I only sold one book, it was a Comic-Con, but the next Comic-Con I've been to in Reading, I sold a lot of books. I think I took down 2 boxes worth of books, and I think there was only 2-3 authors in that one. It's a hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean, a lot more authors are starting to go to these type of things. I mean, I've been to Comic-Con type of things where you'll have a half a dozen, indie authors there.
Yeah.
They're not all necessarily the same genre, but it's interesting what people are doing. You do a lot of shows?
I did a lot this year. I think I did like 12. My last one is in November.
Have you seen a drop off this year from like last year or something else? Because I mean, I have, but
attendance or sales?
Yeah, money changing hands in general, not just with you specifically, but because I mean, there are some shows you go to and people are buying the hell out of stuff, right? You will see them walking around with just, and then there are others where all the vendors are kind of like, what is going on here, right?
I think so. The 2-day event that I went to in Mariposa, it's a fantasy and chivalry festival. I usually make a lot. I didn't make a lot this year, but I really want to blame it on the weather. It was so scorching hot that day. Attendance just dropped. And we had done a lot of new things this year than we did last year. So I think for me, it was just the weather. I actually raised my prices $3 than usual. And I was still able to make sales. So that was really relieving. But again, like you mentioned, it was a book event. So people were specifically trying to buy books. But the other events were more like local park, music in the park type of shows. So sales were just I always made at least one sale.
Yeah. Those events I think are good, especially if they're in your local neighborhood, just to let people know that you're out there.
Yes.
And you'll meet some folks and
they recommend you to their libraries and stuff, and I'm like, I'll do it, but then I forget.
Do you bring prints of your artwork as well?
Yes, I did a recent artwork of King Thranduil from Tolkien's work, and I was able to sell one of those artworks. I was pretty excited for that.
Nice. So the original or
no, just art prints. So digital art, art prints.
Right, of course. Digital would be difficult. Give me your iPad.
Yeah.
So if anybody in the chat has questions, bring them on. Not about Mike's date. We don't know anything about it. He's been very close-lipped about that, as is his wont. So you say you write some stuff with spice and then just romantasy. What? I guess first of all, as someone who doesn't write romance, really, I mean, I'll have people together. I mean, I have main characters who are married and got married, things like that, but I don't delve, right? What brought this up is one of your books said it's a slow burn romance.
Yes.
So when you're writing these, if you decide it's going to be slow burn or spicy or whatever, what do you have to do to make sure that when you tell someone it's a slow burn who understands what that means, what do you have to do to write that to meet that expectation?
So you basically cross out certain elements that are in a lot of romance books. So one of them could be love at first sight. It's not like an insta love type of thing. Their connection is like on the climbing hill. They have their prejudices right away. So in my Children of Rima series, Lucan, I kind of did test a little bit of the love at first sight with Lucan in my Children of Rima series, because when he looks at Eileen for the first time, he's like, wow, she's my type. She's beautiful. And Eileen just turns and looks at him and she's like, what do you want? You kill her. And so he's like, oh, gross. I don't like her. But then obviously, eventually he does. and that kind of builds up a slow burn because they have to break down their prejudices or things that they don't like about each other.
Okay.
So when it comes to slow burn, I really like that a lot because I don't like the whole insta love. I think it's more realistic to slowly fall in love with someone. So yeah, that's just. But the spice, that's also a good question because a lot of readers want the spice right away. I think there were some comments about that in my After Dark books, and I think with that you just have to be very creative. You have to still deliver that this is still like meets their criteria while also not making the characters go all out or stuff like that.
So you got to pull it back a little bit from the full throttle kind of thing, but
Oh yeah.
still make it hot enough where there's interest.
Oh yeah, the flirting, the connections, the yeah, After Dark's a pretty interesting one. So I can't really go into detail because it's a little inappropriate, but
We
it's
are
just
a very inappropriate show. So have you ever met anybody that's been like an love at first sight kind of thing?
no. The way I met my husband, I hated his guts.
Really?
Yes, he was rude. He was rude. He said he was a woman hater because his past relationships. And the first time that I met him, his friend, I guess a lot of girls would tease him and flick his hat. So he always wears a hat, and his best friend grabbed the hat and threw it back in the back seat and hit me. And he turns around, looks at me and says, "Give me back my hat." And I'm like, "What the heck? I don't even know you." And I'm like, "Here."
Take your stupid hat.
Yeah, take your stupid hat. And then it was like the fair, and one day he just saw me standing just among our group of friends, and he's like, "Miriam, what are you doing over there? Come over here with us." And for me, what melts my heart is a man who's a gentleman, and basically the same hat, I will tell you. There was a car with high beams, and we were sitting down talking, and the high beams just kind of hit my face, and I'm like squinting, and he grabs his hat, takes it off, and blocks the lights from hitting me. And my heart was like,
so the
this
bar
damn fool.
That's where the bar is. Then that's good to know.
and that's kind of what I like to write. Very slow burn, just like, oh, I don't like you, but maybe I'm wrong,
Well, I will tell you that when I met my wife,
Oh,
some friends and I was stationed in England, and we were getting ready to go to an English Civil War recreation. Right?
No way. Lucky.
I was told there would be drinking. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool. And we met up in the parking lot, and they said there's this English family that we go with, a brother and two sisters, right? And so I met them all. I got into my car, there's like 4 cars going, and I turned to my friend and said, "That's my wife." And that was like August, and we were married in December. So yeah, and that was 35 years ago.
So that's like an insta love, but right? I mean, you just knew you.
It's just one of those things. Yeah.
Oh.
When I went up to talk to her first, she was like, "Who are you? You freaking weirdo." So
I love that.
next time I went back with a bottle of honey mead, and that helped things immensely. So honey mead will do that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I love that.
Yeah, we're all nerds here. EL has written a plethora of questions, and I'm going to go through and pick a couple out. I don't know what HEA or HFN mean.
Happily ever after and happy for now. So
Okay.
if in the romance category, you have to at least have a happily ever after or a happy for now. It doesn't end like in tragedy or something like that. I always write happily ever after. I don't think I've ever had, maybe Excalibur's King is kind of like a happy for now. Excalibur's King is the one book that I don't have like crazy spice. I couldn't do that to King Tungsten. He's just such a good guy. I didn't want to he's just really pure hearted. So I didn't want to make him like lust over somebody. He's just very innocent in how he likes an individual. So that one kind of felt more like a happy for now.
Yeah. I read a book series, even if there's no romance in it, I want to feel good about the ending, which
Mhm.
in a way is kind of because it's like, okay, nothing bad's going to happen to this guy unless it's an one of EL's characters. Bad things always happen to them. Um, and Mike has been known to do horrible things to characters as well, but
Really? Okay,
um,
because
not the main characters because Mike writes in first person.
oh,
So,
okay.
you know, but you do want to have a satisfying kind of conclusion to it. And I suppose it can happen where something bad happens and it's still a satisfying conclusion if it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yes.
But you know, but I like the way that um How I Met Your Mother ended. A lot of people don't. So,
Mm.
I guess
What about
there
your books? Do your characters, does it, I know there's no romance, but do you also give them that satisfying conclusion?
yeah, I try to.
Okay.
Um and sometimes it's just by accident. So my first series, it's a series of 6. When I
Wow.
recover them and re-edit them again
Yeah.
someday, they will be 2 trilogies because the first um, antagonist has his full story arc by the end of book 3, and then it's
Mm,
a different antagonist for books 4, 5, and 6.
mm.
And it just happened to work out that way. And after I was finished it, I was like, oh well, that's actually really nice. He at the beginning of book 1, it's like this guy's just an asshole,
Yeah.
right? And then you realize at the end of book 3, oh, okay, there are some overriding circumstances
I
here,
love asshole characters.
and you can. Oh, they're so much fun to write.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, so much. Yes.
They're-
So is it like YA or just adult fantasy that you write or
it's it's. I didn't write it for anything specific, but I've
okay.
had people tell me their 11-year-olds have read it and been fine with it. So
Oh,
it's like, oh, okay, cool. You know,
hmm,
but yeah, it's not YA specific, and
okay.
and I think part of that is because if I do have something happen, I want the
Hmm.
people to be old enough where it's not cringy,
Hmm.
right? Let's see. This is a good question from EL. They're all good questions, EL, but this is the one I'm picking up. Who's your ideal
Reader.
person?
Someone who doesn't hate slow burn for sure. I think
I mean, if
someone who
you're at,
really
if you're at a con, you see people walking by. Who are you likely to pull out and say, okay, that person is more likely to buy my book if they come over here than this person?
definitely just personality wise, I would say people who are very to themselves. I've noticed those are the ones that pick up my books. But for me, like an ideal reader would be someone who doesn't mind the world building and the romance. I really try to integrate them together. Before I would call myself a romantic fantasy author, but I decided I was kind of in the fence and I decided, you know what, no, I need to pick one side. And I decided to be just a romance fantasy author. And while still holding the world building, the complex relationships of the side characters. I love my side characters a lot, and that's kind of dangerous because you don't want your readers to like your side characters more than the main characters. So I kind of try to balance that out. But definitely someone who likes world building and the romantic element of a fantasy book.
Side characters also have the unfortunate habit of doing stupid things,
Yes, mine do a lot of stupid
and
things.
you lose some
Mine
side
are
characters.
assholes. Yes, I would say that too. Yes.
So have you had that happen where someone died in one of your books and you kind of stopped and went, well, that's not supposed to happen?
Um, I cut off one of my character's arms just for no damn reason. I was just like, you know what? This probably would happen because there's so much chaos happening. So now you don't have you have a missing arm. Um,
That makes him but that's something to talk about, right? I
he
mean,
was the
that's
most asshole of the whole trilogy, so I think he kind of earned it.
did it mellow him a bit?
I'm sorry.
Did it mellow him?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, losing an
He
arm will
always
do.
fought with two sabers, and he was just a very depressed guy who was whoring around because his lover died, or so he thought. So he was just
Hmm.
trying to fill in the hole. So I cut off his arm.
At least it was his arm, right?
Right.
You could have been really horrible to him.
I could have cut off something else, but
No
I
more
figured.
whoring around for you. All right. EL says conversations with customers at cons. Oh yeah, these are always interesting. And I mean, you probably get a lot of people say, "Is this on ebook or is this on audio?" And are your books on audio? I guess is a good question.
Um, I actually I was supposed to make a post today, but I'm still recovering from Los Angeles. One of my short stories, Cursed in Tree, is gonna come out on audiobook. I hired somebody to do that. That one's a more kind of, it feels like a male's adventure for me, and I know I'm a woman writing a male's adventure, but I really wanted to write a romance where the main character is a guy, and he basically builds a relationship with a manic pixie-like girl who is trying to kill him. But most I'm noticing, I really want to share this with everybody. A lot of customers are asking if I'm wide or if I'm just specifically on Amazon, because they do have some reservations when it comes to buying something from a big retailer like Amazon, especially with, reputation and stuff like that. So that's a conversation that I've been picking up recently. I don't think, and I'll tell you this for sure, I think they're different people, those who buy my book, because if you look at my reviews, I will sell a lot of books, but you don't really see reviews there. And I really feel like these people just aren't the type to buy a physical copy and oh, let me go write a review. They just, oh, good review, or hate it, love it. They move
Yeah.
on with their lives.
That's the worst part, I think, about trying to do this is that reviews are so important.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's like pulling teeth to get a review
Yeah.
for someone, even if they really like the book, to get them to spend that, 5 minutes to go do
Yes.
that is,
And I've recently did Book Sirens this year with After Dark. So it was really nice getting some early reviews in the beginning versus getting zero when the book launches.
yeah. So do you have a regular 9 to 5 or do you just write?
No, I just write, and I also do commission artwork on the side, so part-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
what does Miriam's day look like then, as far as writing wise and art and
well,
all
I
that?
I I have a 9-month-old,
Oh my,
and
okay. So your day is very segmented.
yes, it's very, yeah, that, and I love being a mom, so that's the number one thing for me. So I always make sure that my kiddos are taken care of before I do anything. I will sacrifice sleep if I have to squeeze in some writing time, and yeah, I'm totally in love with my little one. And I really have a supporting husband. He's awesome. He always tells me, he's like, Miriam, I'm your number one fan. He's like, no one's gonna take that spot for me. And he'll make like these nerdy sounds, and he's like, oh, you fool, I know the side story of the side stories. Like, you don't know this part. He's a goofball. He has like a golden retriever personalities, and I'm like
Oh
more of a
my.
serious person. So yeah, it's never boring with him.
Golden retriever personality is such a great way to describe someone because it pretty much says everything you need to know.
Yes, yeah, he's like 80%. There's like some moments where he's like very serious, and I like it when he's mean, because then I'm just like, ooh.
It's an interesting shade of red there, Mary. Um, are you thinking in the back of your head that you're going to have to write something that you can read to your little one as they get a little older?
I want to do children's fantasy books. I haven't forgotten this one teacher who came up to me and asked me if I have any dragon books for boys.
Mhm.
And it never left my mind, because she says that she had a student who loves books about dragons, and not the adult kind. So I want to do that someday for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a bunch of are you starting to build your library to read to your son, daughter?
Yes, yeah, to my little ones, yeah. Oh yeah, we have a lot of hand-me-down books. College classmates I had, they would just donate their books to me. I have more than enough for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good time. That's a fun time when they're really young, up
Oh yeah.
until about 12.
Wow. That's what they tell me. That one of my husband's friend, he's like, wait until she's 12. Her attitude's just gonna like flip.
Oh my God. They're just fucking horrible. Sorry.
He's like, she's not going to be a little girl after that. She's just going to be like,
You get them back maybe when they're like mid-20s.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
they
say,
kind
yeah.
of they learn a lot. They actually think that you've learned a lot, but really they've learned a lot. But yeah, from about 12 on, it's just but they're little princesses up until then.
Yeah.
And I mean, I miss Christmas at like the 4 and 5-year-old level are the best Christmases ever.
Yeah.
And those are a lot of fun. But anyway, we will get away from that a bit. EL asks, is there a good community for romance? Yeah, I really bet there is. Is it a subset of romance or fantasy or its own thing?
Definitely a subset of romance and fantasy. It really just depends where you go. I'm a little bit of everywhere on social media. I try to be very active, but I honestly, I can't keep up sometimes. I will tell you this much: it can get a little toxic on TikTok, the whole book talk community, or sometimes just because there's a lot of drama that happens. But if you like tea, like I do, you can just not interact and just watch and just hear what people are saying. But community wise, I think you build that community when you do book sales and events. That's how I've started befriending a lot of people who write romantasy, and it's really just interpersonal more than just a group thing. I'm not in critique groups or anything like that. I have like my own ideas about critique groups. I think everyone is always going to have something to say about your book, and at the end of the day, you still have to make the decision if you're going to write the sentence or not. So why go through a storm of ideas when you can just listen to your gut feeling and write your story? Get a beta reader, of course, always, but you know.
Now, I found you on Twitter easily enough. Are you on Blue Sky at all?
No, when
Your
the
book
whole
star.
really.
I typed in your name and I'm seeing After Dark here, and I scroll down a little bit more and I see Children of Rima.
That
And
is interesting. I'm not on Blue.
it's
I'm
some
not
of
on
your
Threads.
ARC readers or something, but yeah, people are putting.
Art readers.
So if you put in your name, your stuff comes up on
That's
the.
interesting. Yeah, after the great exodus from Twitter, I don't, for my mental health, I just don't think I can balance Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I started returning back to Instagram from a hiatus, and Twitter. I
Well,
can't
as
keep
an
up to it.
artist, I think Instagram's a really great kind of.
And I need to post most of my art there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you answered this at the beginning, the first part. Do you think you've progressed as a writer? Is everything you've published still up, or have you pulled anything down?
No, most the I think I have 3 books that are pulled out. It's The Birth, because I want to do a rewrite. I think it was the second book of The Birth. I forgot what it's called, The Conflict. And those I really want to. They're really special stories, and I feel like I wasn't at a right time as a writer. It's really, it's like art. You learn it as you go. Of course, the more you read, the more you learn about your craft as well. That's the most important. But time wise, I think. And we're all perfectionists, right? I think if we read our earliest works, there's always something we want to fix about it. And
It's your latest ones. Yeah.
those are the ones I know I need to work on and stuff. But I heard about the other live about Mike and his 2-page steamy scenes.
Oh, he had a scene. I can't believe Mike's not here and I'm still talking.
He ordered so many copies.
He had this chapter where his character, who's a young man on Mars or something, goes into to a club. And I think he just wanted to get the club name in. It was called the Zero G Spot. And I think he was really just trying to work that in there. So he asked for like the cheapest. He doesn't have any money. So the cheapest person he can find at a brothel is this old lady. And it's just kind of him fumbling around. And it's just so, oh, right? But and I edit for him, so he's like, should I just take this out? It's like, I want to say yes, but the truth of the matter is he learns something through
Yes.
that experience that's important to his development as a
Yep.
character.
Even if it feels like that,
So,
it always
so it
go with
needs to
what the
stay,
character has to go through. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what he did was when he edited it, he was looking at it and said, okay, I'm just going to copy this and then I'm going to make changes so I still have my original. And he forgot to erase the original. And so he sent it to print, and he did change the chapter number, right? So chapters 18 and 19 are both the exact same chapter. Yeah. And EL says Ro hates sex on the page. I do some editing for EL as well. I don't. That's not it. I feel like I'm having to defend myself to EL here.
Tell us, Ro. Tell us.
No, I think I don't read romance, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's just, it has to be different, right? There's got to be. It can't be like the same thing happening all the time, right? If a guy is like just constantly being grabby or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
after a while it's just like, ew,
Yeah.
you know. So there needs to be something in there where either they progress to a point and what they're doing is a little different, or something changes in the dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily hate sex on the page.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be done, I think, a certain way.
No, yeah, I agree. That's valid. And there's different types of romance. I mean, there's smut. Smut is difference between smut and romance is smut. I forgot what was the rule for that one. I think with smut is because it's more sex than story and plot. From I forgot there was like a rule to smut that really separates it from romance. But there's a
Well, it's
lot
the
of romance.
difference between having sex and making love,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that too. Yeah,
Like
and I think and I like what
romance
you
is
mentioned.
the kind of interpersonal relationship kind of thing,
And
where
I think
smut
with
is sex.
right, and with romance, I think like I like what you mentioned because and which is why I love slow burn is too much of it is just it's too much already. There's no it's not it should be the reward. It should be Arthur pulling out the sword of Excalibur. That's like the pivotal point. It should be something like that, not him pulling the sword out every single day. Sorry if I'm using that as an example. But like like it's you're not going to see him do that every day. He does it only once and it
Right.
becomes a very pivotal moment. And I think for romance it's at least the type of romance I write is it's a special but also awkward um moment that is just something for it to build, not just be repetitive or something.
Yeah, I mean, so I listen to some cozy mysteries, and there's a and it's usually like early 20th, late 19th century English kind of whatever. There's always a undercurrent of romance with the heroine because it's always a female who's solving all these murders or whatever.
Mm.
Um, but there's no sex, right? If that now the one I'm currently listening to, the series I'm currently listening to, the main character's friend, she's just a wanton little hussy, right? But they never get into it, but right?
Right.
And her thing, it's a slow burn with this guy. She's building up the relationship with this dude. And that's all fine. I get that,
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, yeah, I know you're teasing. Thank you very much. All right. So what is next for you?
So I'm gonna work on the second book for my Dragon and Mirror series because I know I'm doing the relaunch, so I have to redo the cover, and that's taking time because I have some commissions to do first. So, uh, aside for that, After Dark Book 2, I am gonna release a new series next year. It's gonna be my first fairy tale retelling, where the three main princesses, so Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. The main character is not either of them, but they pick up a role in that series, and
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty excited for that one. yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just excited for my last book event so I can just take a break from being out, setting up booths and vendor tables and all that, carrying my
How,
books.
how many shows do you do in a year?
I usually in a year on average I probably do 2, but this year I did 11, maybe 12.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. That gets a little
I'm
busy
tired.
doing
I'm a
that.
little burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're fun to go
Yeah,
to.
they're fun. I love, yeah, talking to people, then your neighbors, your vendor neighbors. I've been
Yeah,
very lucky. Have met some amazing people.
they're very long days though, because you're usually there a couple hours before. And,
Yes.
and the some of those bigger shows, I mean, sometimes the opening hours are like 12 hours, 13 hours. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Um, are you ever thinking about doing anything outside? I mean, outside of the fantasy romance genre?
So creative wise, just the way I write stories is I never have I can't know what happens at the end because that just kills the fun for me. And 2 is the story has to have my interest enough for me to divert from my usual writing. And one of them was a nightmare that I got. It's a sci-fi horror, and I've never written sci-fi before. I don't know anything about militaries because the main character, she's the daughter of a military family, father, mom, son. She was in the military too, but then she kind of left early because she was in a toxic relationship. But it's not romance based. Romance is kind of very of a small subplot. It's more of what happens in chapter 1. And I wrote that for NaNoWriMo years ago. It's a standalone, but I've never went back to it because I'm scared of mentioning some military jargon and not knowing like what,
Find a veteran. We're always happy to point out those things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you ask someone who's been in the military, hey, would you mind looking over this? They will absolutely do it.
Okay.
Because they hate it.
Right. See, I don't want to piss people off, like, and mention something that I don't know, and then, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that you kind of go, okay, whatever. But there's a lot of little things that you can do. But yeah, just that's easy enough. You've got bases out there galore. You can find someone super easy. One last question. Well, maybe not the last one. I don't know. Now, so you said you do art commissions.
Yes.
What type of work do you generally do with your commissions? How long does it take you? What kind of rates? Because most of the people who watch this show are authors and not readers. I mean, they're readers too, but they're authors. And they're always looking for art.
Yeah, sure. So I do bust portraits. So it's from upper chest to head. I think it's currently $20 or $25. Realistic. I usually ask them, do you want an anime style or do you want it realism? I do couples. I think that's for $40 to head to toe couples. I'm doing a recent one for Victoria Clapton, who is also one of the authors that I really love. I think that's pretty much it. I do logos outside of the writing in our community, and in real person, I do logos for certain people for their small businesses, t-shirts type of designs. But yeah, so if you ever need, I do. So on Ko-Fi, for only $1 a month, I do sketches of whatever you guys want me to sketch, with a maximum of 3 people per month. Faust always participates in those events, so thank you, Faust. And just for $1 a month, you can say, hey, can you sketch my character? And I will sketch it. You always get a sketch every month if you guys want something like that and not pay much.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
El has asked that I honor Mike and ask the T-Rex question. So this is a question that if you've seen the show, you probably saw Mike ask this question. You are in your town and you have the option to ride on a saddle equipped for the critter, a T-Rex or a Griffin. Which do you choose and why?
Griffin. Not a T-Rex. T-Rex have small arms. I mean, what does the T-Rex do? Their reach, it's just their mouth. The weapon is just the mouth. And they're just going to be like this, roaring away. Griffin, I can fly wherever the heck I want. I can grab people by the talons and throw them off.
Yep. Thank you very much. See, Mike is convinced
Sorry,
that
Mike.
T-Rex is the only answer. And
No,
95% of people pick the Griffin.
Yeah.
So
why is the T-Rex the better option?
It's not. It's the horrible option. I am Team Griffin all the way.
Like, what's his reasoning?
He thinks he would like to be able to have it lunge down and pick up a car, with its mouth and fling it off to the side or stomp on it or something.
I can grab like an RPG and just boom, hit it from the side as he picks up the car. Griffin, you can just dodge things.
Right, there you go. Jay, that is, oh my God. Yeah, I can see that. When she says Griffin, he just pushes his plate away and stands up in a huff and leaves. Leaves her with a bill and off he goes. Yeah. How'd the date go, Mike? Horrible. She said Griffin.
She said Griffin.
And she doesn't like spreadsheets. So. Now, the question is, if Mike knows that we do this, it means that he has had to watch an entire hour to get to that. So, Miriam, on behalf of Mike, thank you very much for joining us. And you said this was only the second one of these shows that you've done?
Yes, this is my second one.
Well, you should do a lot more. Just reach out to the people who have these shows, and they're very accommodating because they need people to be on, and you've got a great story to tell and some fantastic things to say between the art and the books. It's been just a pleasure having you on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and for everybody else who's still here, thank you for spending another hour of your day with us. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that. We are 8 people away from 500. And the next time that we will be here will be on the 15th, which is Wednesday, with Richard White. And it looks like he is sci-fi and fantasy mix. I see the word Star Trek on one of his books, so that'll be interesting.
You like Star Trek?
It's okay. That'll be at 7 p.m. I asked people, who is your least favorite Star Trek captain? Because I believe there was a correct answer for this. But so are you a Trekkie or more of a Star Wars person?
Me, I'm more of a Star Wars. I actually I made a post on my Twitter. I have a Star Trek signed limited edition copy that I found in the trash outside in the dumps. I should have brought it. Really cool. I don't know if I follow you on Twitter, but signed limited edition out of 200 out of 150. I think I have the 8th one. And now I want to watch the first episode.
And it's a Star Trek thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So rather than be dead air, how's everybody doing this evening? Thank you for joining us on a Monday night. Appreciate it. As always.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Somebody threw that away.
Signed by every single actor. And it says certificate certified that the Star Trek photographs which accompany this document has been personally autographed by DeForest Kelley, Leonard Nimoy, and William Shatner, and it's limited to an edition of 250. And this one is the 8th copy.
Crazy.
And I found this in the dumpster like this. Like that.
That's nuts.
And I picked it up and I was like, oh, cool. I knew it was Star Trek, but I've never seen Star Trek before. And I felt bad for it. So I brought it to my husband and he's like, Miriam, these are signed. And I'm like, what? So I keep it with me.
You've never seen Star Trek?
I saw one episode and I think it was, I don't even know what season or what was I knew what was going on. They went to this planet and it was kind of like, I don't know, but I liked it, but I've never seen the first. I talked to someone about it. He recommends watching the first episode in the first season.
the episode that you saw, was it the original series or Next Generation or?
I knew it was kind of like a retelling of Christ or something like that, Reborn or something. I don't know. It was like
God knows. Okay, there are so many Star Treks out there. I will ask you one Star Wars question. Are you down for the Jar Jar is a Sith Lord theory?
Yeah, he's totally a Sith Lord.
You said that with authority, like that. That's something you've talked about before.
Yeah, someone that annoying cannot be a good person.
Nice. I think we're gonna leave it there. That's the perfect place to end on. Is someone as annoying as Jar Jar cannot be a good person.
Squeeze me. I do that. I say that for fun, Caesar.
Excellent. All right, so everybody, check out Miriam's Linktree and follow along, and check out her books. And Miriam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we click this button and wave goodbye to everyone.
Bye.